Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Stick around to find out what's been hiding in this box in the corner of my garage for the past year and what we're going to do with it. Alright, so I bought this probably a year ago with good intentions at the time, and then put it in the corner because I can't remember if weather or something came up, but put it in the corner and forgot about it. And the other day I was at work talking with someone, and we were talking about wood and how ash is becoming, kind of a rare wood, right? It's getting real hard to find overseas and in certain areas of the country, mainly because all the ash trees are dying off, right? There's a finite amount of ash left in the world. They're not regrowing them. So, right now, where I'm at, there's an abundance of ash, but it's all dying and falling on the ground, dead falling, and then it's rotting and it becomes unusable. So, it reminded me that I had this tool and gave me the idea of some things I could do with it to kind of preserve some of that wood before it dies, before it becomes too unusable. Inside, we've got a bunch of different packages. Get rid of that. And we'll see what's inside here. So I have obviously not opened this yet. I know what's in here, but it's been so long that I've got to figure everything out. So I figured today, while I dig through this, why not make a video of me putting it together? But any idea what it is yet? So they do sell these online. I don't remember where I got this one from. More than likely Amazon, maybe? But I mean, you can buy anything on Amazon now. But I don't recall. Piece of plexiglass. So I'm kind of learning this with you guys as we go through this, because I know what it is, but I also have no idea how it goes together, and I have never used one of these before. So when we do build it, why am I using scissors on here and not? Okay, so like I said, I've never used one of these before, so I'm going to learn how by doing. So far from feeling the parts, this is probably not the best quality. I probably could have bought a much better one, but I was probably being cheap at the time and saying like, oh, how much am I actually going to use it? Well, this isn't bad. That feels pretty well made. But I was probably thinking like, what am I going to do with it? And, how often am I going to use it? I don't need the best one, which usually ends up biting me in the butt. So it looks like we have a bunch of pieces of aluminum, some tracks in it, some more pieces, and we're going to spend the day building this. Here we go. And then we've got some pieces with some measurements on it. That was probably the big giveaway if you know what this is. If not, you'll figure it out soon. I do like that that's been wrapped very well. And this may be, oh yeah, bit of a hardware kit. We've got a handle. piece that I know that is the guard. So we'll get all these cut. And there's all the parts. So what is this, you ask? This, when put together, will make this. If you still don't know what that is, what this is a chainsaw mill. So basically what this is, what you do with this, you build this tool, your chainsaw goes inside of it, and then you can, so actually it goes down here. This is kind of a sliding piece, and this goes up and down on these bars here. And this makes the depth of the cut that you want. And what you can do is take a chainsaw and a log and end up processing boards out of it, somewhat flat boards. So my plan, after talking with my coworker the other day, is to build this and try to get in the back where I have a bunch of some ash cutoffs and stuff, and start kind of slabbing some of that out and putting some stickers in between, which are just a little piece of wood so that airflow can get through, and allowing them to dry a bit and season up a little bit better so that we can build future projects with it. So I was at Home Depot or Lowe's or something the other night, walking through, getting last minute Christmas gifts for people. And I came on this section of the lumber section. I always walk around, look for hardwoods or whatever they've got available, just unique stuff. You know, sometimes you get some random things in there. But I came across this like pallet thing, had like walls in it and stuff, but it was like essentially a pallet on an end cap, and it was full of these live edge slabs, right? So I started thinking, you know, after the conversation with my coworker about ash and stuff like that, how valuable this stuff could be in a while. And I also started thinking, like, I could slab a bunch of this and just sit on it, you know, sit on it for a while, let it dry, and I could use it for myself, for personal projects and things like that. But I could also sell it and, you know, maybe make some money off of it. Just another form of taking care of yourself and making forms of income from things in nature that you can find without being destructive to nature.
Well, we're waiting.
These are the worst directions ever. Again, worst instructions ever. the greatest directions in the world, but like I said, I bought this, I remember buying this a year ago, and I'm sure I bought it very cheap. Found one of the cheapest ones out there. I want to say it's, if it's not $100, it's under $100. So, I mean, you get what you pay for, right? Get plastic off of there. Probably should have done that beforehand, but that's okay. All right, so this is it. So the reason why I bolted everything down here is the chainsaw is going to be down here, which I'll show you in a minute, and you can kind of watch your cut down through the window. You've got your push bar, and then this is going to go up against the bar. I'm never going to have a chainsaw this long, so obviously they build this for whatever chainsaw you have. I'm never going to buy a chainsaw with a bar that's 47 inches long, you know, just not going to do it. So, I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be pretty cool to have a chainsaw with a 47-inch bar, but, you know, we're in Michigan. We're not cutting down, you know, redwoods or anything. So what I think I want to do is cut some of this off just so that it's manageable and I can store this in some way, because this thing is just going to be ridiculous. Trying to, even putting it on a log out there and trying to cut it is going to be a pain in the ass with all this extra stuff hanging out. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of measure this down a bit. And I'll go, I mean, you know, who's to say I don't buy, I think right now my bar is 18 inches. Who's to say I don't buy a 24 or something in the future? So maybe I'll go down to maybe 26 inches or something and do from that. I also don't have, I mean, the ashes in the back are big, but that, right? So by limiting that, that's going to limit the width of the board that I can cut. But let's get that cut down. I'm going to cut it at 26 inches. That's 26. Hacksaw blade's dull, and I don't have time for that. Neither do you. So we're going to angle grind this. That is going to break. I'm glad I checked that right now. Now that you're properly deaf, and I'm about to pull the camera over on this cord. All right, so we've cut that to length. Now they gave us two of these little round pieces that I'm assuming go in here. So that'll protect that. So they gave us these two square pieces that I'm assuming they don't go, I can't find anywhere else that they would go, so I'm assuming they go up here. They don't want to go in, so we're going to persuade them in because this is their home and you need to be in there. So, not that they're going to do anything, but they might keep some water out if we store this upside down or something. All right, so that took some work, but we're working now. So essentially, the chain still moves. freely. We're not rubbing metal anywhere. I got the handle in the center. These are all tightened down now. These are running loose, but I'll run those nuts down in those. So, here. So it's backwards, right? So essentially what this is going to do is the chainsaw sits here. I'm going to start it up. You can still get gas and oil in it. And then you'll basically sit here, pull the trigger on the chain, and push this through the log, right? So that's how it's going to cut. So essentially, the log will ride across the top of these rails, and the chain inside here on the bar will cut that. These metal pads in here, those hold the bar in place so that, you know, pretty solid so it doesn't move, but still allow the chain to pass through. This kind of protects you a little bit from here. This is now the danger area, right? So basically what this does, this allows you to use the chainsaw. I do feel it's going to be a pain in the butt swapping out chains and things like that, because every time you've got to rebolt all that together. So I don't know. I might honestly kind of cut you know what I might do? I'm going to cut these nuts off of here, and I'm going to weld this bolt head, this bolt to here, to this piece, and then I'm going to put wing nuts in underneath there. So that way I can just flip the mill over, lay the chainsaw on top of it, and just tighten those down a lot easier. Or maybe even just put nuts there. But essentially, this is it. So I'm going to get a longer bar so I can put that kind of plastic shield back on here. And it'll give me a longer cut. So right now, this is probably the widest board I could cut. You're still going to get an 11-inch board, 11.25-inch board, roughly, out of that. Does this video look just chaotic? Because it is. Because I planned zero for this today. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go film a video on chainsaw mills. But anyway. So yeah, so I got it working just so that I can test it out. Probably the next video, because this one's probably fairly lengthy by now. But the next video we do, I'm going to put together kind of a cross member working stand out there. You could do it right on the ground, but I'm going to put that together, and we'll find a small log, lay it up on it, and cut some boards out of it and show you how it works, essentially. And then I'm probably going to we'll see when I can get to it, because it's Monday now. Today's the holiday. So I'm back to work tomorrow. So I probably won't be able to get out and cut wood until the next week. So maybe in that week's time, I can get a longer bar. And well, that means I've got to buy longer chains and all that fun. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I don't need any boards right now. This is just kind of a fun thing to do. So maybe we'll stick with this for now and just cut what we can and make some small boards. Small boards are actually better. Honestly, they'll dry faster. This is a chainsaw mill, sometimes referred to as an Alaskan chainsaw mill, but it's basically a portable chainsaw mill or wood mill, so you can go and like mill boards out of stuff in the bush. Essentially, it's not a big giant, you know, sawmill that you have to have a bunch of parts and run. This is something fairly small, fairly lightweight that you can take out into the woods and process some lumber out of it. You know, get some actual dimensional lumber out of it. So we're going to try to do that. We are going to try to make in the next video, we're going to try to make some dimensional lumber, get some boards cut. I'm probably going to leave the live edges on just because it'd be kind of cool. And we'll see what we can do with them, or, you know, eventually. I have some fairly small pieces that have been dead out there for quite a while that are up off the ground. So I'm wondering how much moisture is in those, if they would maybe even be usable now. We'll see. They've been dead for several years and up off the ground. More than likely they're case hardened, which means the outside is dried, but the inside of the tree is still wet. So once you cut into it, you'll get moisture in there. But if we cut those into small enough boards, maybe we cut inch slabs, and if we're cutting 10-inch wide boards, that might dry fairly quick. If we cut them now, maybe by spring or summer, might be usable, maybe. I don't know, it depends where I can fit them. Might put them over in the barn, get them drying, get them out of the weather, and let them dry over the winter. And we'll see what happens come summertime. So, all right, well, anyway, I am really rambling, and this video went a lot longer than I thought it would or intended it to. Like, this was just supposed to be a quick thing, but yeah. But I appreciate you. If you are still here watching this video, good for you. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this content, hit the subscribe button down below. Give me a big thumbs up and comment, or if you want to, and I'll see you on the next video. That's cool, but this is fucking useless. Like, now I gotta get in there and tighten these up with. Why did you make the handle 11 millimeters and every other damn bolt on here is 13? 0 cents.